Well, hello everyone and good morning. I thought I would come on because of everything that's happening in the markets, not just crypto but also stock markets as well. But I want to go over and show, and I've been talking about this for since probably 2019, 2020 or something like that, right? And it's that there are a couple things you need to know. You need to know the basics about charts, and even if you're an investor, like just know the basics about a chart, know how to do it, and then understand like how the market works for the most part, and then um, understand your emotions, um, and know when there's an opportunity. So, like, the opportunity is when things are falling. That's the opportunity. Now, I'm more of a trader, and then I'm also an investor. So I only invest in things that I consider are assets, right? Um, I consider Bitcoin an asset. So when it comes to crypto, yes, I consider physical gold, physical silver assets, right? These are the things that the top wealthy people are buying. Anyone who's not doing that, then like why not? But to go on to the charts, all right, so we're gonna look at Bitcoin. So I have been showing this chart for ever since I started doing videos, and I might not show all the way up to the daily chart, but I think not the last video, but the video before that, I was going through all the charts, and showing how like, hey, things are looking like they're coming out, right? Like coming down for real. They're coming out of their trending up, and some of them had already fallen out of it, right? And if anything, I would not be investing in those things. I would be like maybe doing quick trades. Um, Even if you wanted to short Bitcoin, um, when it hit this double, hit this upper trend line right here. So I always go all the way up to my daily, weekly chart, and which I had already done a long time ago, drew my lower trend line and my upper trend line. Okay, so the upper trend line is coming from these last two, for the most part, these last two. I probably could draw another one from these two right up here. I have it, but I could. Um, so the we're basically just about to touch the top of this lower trend line for Bitcoin. So if we were to zoom in, right, which is at about 74, between 70, between 75 306 and 74 427. So someone say, well, what do I do now? Do I buy? Do I wait? You follow the same rules as you would any trade. What do? You let it fall down, you let it bounce, you see if there's a breaker structure. Once there's a breaker structure, you consider your risk. How much of risk are you taking? If it's a risk that you can tolerate, you jump in once it breaks structure, and you can either wait for it to break structure, come back down, see where it bounced at, and then if it bounced at a double bottom or a higher low, then you enter. It doesn't matter if you're doing it from the weekly chart, from the monthly chart, from the daily chart to the 5 minute chart. That's the rules that I follow. So when people ask me, "Oh, so what price you think it's going to go to?" I don't worry about what price it goes to. I don't worry about it all. I just know, okay, it's hitting my lower trend line. So this is the time where I need to be putting alerts on different levels on this lower trend line. And this is where I need to watch for double bounces. I need to watch for breaker structure and put alerts on these things. And that's it. I don't have to make it complicated. And that's the way I keep it. So, like, we look at, instead of trying to predict, now I could, and I do keep track of like where I invest and where I buy at, right? So, like, for Bitcoin, it was around here because I saw that it had hit here. It had bounce and then was going above, right? Same thing for Ethereum. Ethereum was the first crypto I ever bought. And where is my Ethereum? I bought Ethereum before I even bought Bitcoin. And now I don't even see it on my list. Let me add it. Because I know I have it. There it is. I overlooked it. Same thing for Ethereum. I mean, we see these double tops. Bought here at 1080. Now, it did not hit there, but I think I was going by support. So I go by support and trend lines. I probably can readjust my lower trend line, which is what I think I will do. And there we go. Right there. All right, so we had Ben came out of this and made a double top, which makes sense. Like, this makes sense because it came out, came down, came out. It basically tried to retest. It didn't make it. Made a double top. Actually made triple tops and came back down, right? So, but I actually did sell my Ethereum. After I saw like Solana was, after I saw Solana, like, now I have Ethereum from all the way down here at $90. Okay, because that was the first crypto I bought. Remember? So I bought again for long term at 1086. I sold those portions, right? Now, that's how I determine when to buy and when to sell. So where I think a lot of people get in trouble is when they basically are guessing, when they don't have to guess. All you have to do is draw a little simple trend lines and draw support and resistance. If you don't know how to do that, we're going to go over that today. So I just showed how to do the trend line, but I'm going to show it again. So you need 2 points to make a trend line, right? So, and you can use a straight line trend line, which is like, if you look where to the left where it says trend lines, the little bar that the little whatever toolbox that came up, it says trend lines. You can choose that. Sometimes I choose that, and sometimes I choose the parallel channel. So what you just saw me use with the blue trend line was the parallel channel. I like that one because it can cover, that trend line can be wider and cover more area. So we're going to do it again. basically I took the bottom of this point right here. This is point A. And then I took it to point, well, I could have did like this. I probably should have done like this to point B. I did like here because it already has taken place. I did to this point, right? Right here. And then I went up to the bottom of these points right here. And that's how I'm going to take that off because I already got it up there. That's how you do the parallel channel. If I was trying to do just a regular trend line, I would take this point and go up to point B, which is right here. It's the next point at the bottom. That's it. That's all I can do with it. That's all there is to doing to drawing a trend line. How do I draw support and resistance? Well, that's the other thing that I use for determining whether to buy or whether to sell. So for support, I'm looking for the lowest point, right? So for in this area, the lowest point is right here. So I look for that candle. Now, I see this candle is a really long candle. If I don't want it to be that long, I'm going to go a little bit down to the 4-hour chart and see if that candle isn't as long. Right? So it's a shorter candle because it's the daily candle has 4-hour candles, or is it, yeah. So 4 hours, 24 divided by 4, 6. It's got 6 candles of 4 hours in the daily. So I reduced the amount of time by doing this. So now I'm going to take this lowest candle, which is this green candle right here. It's coming out. It's wicking out at the bottom, right? I'm going to take this, take a rectangle. I'm going to go to the top of this candle to the bottom of this candle. And if I can't see the bottom, I'm going to spread it out, and then I can do this so I can see where that bottom is. And then I hit lock. I got a support. Then if I want to create another support, the next support is right here, right? Because that was the next lowest point. So I'm going to use this candle right here. And I'm going to go to the top of this candle to the bottom of this candle. And because I see to the left that there's a little bit more, boom. All right. Then the next one, next lowest, where it went up, it shot up, right? It started going up. Then it came back down. That was the next lowest point after going up. So this is the candle I want to draw my rectangle around. I'm going to go to the top of this candle to the bottom of this candle and hit lock. I got another support level. It goes up, reach a peak. That would be a resistance area, right? It comes back down. The lowest point after it comes back down is right here. We already have it though, right? So I can kind of clean up some of this stuff because this was not the highest resistance area. You can remove it. And then it went up. So I kept doing creating minor supports as it was going up, right? But that's all you're doing. And then resistance is, okay, where did it peak out at? And it didn't do anything. Now, this resistance I got here is coming from all the way back over here. I'm still going to keep it because that is the resistance area. It hits this area and it stops. And how did I get it? I probably went to the daily chart. And I just, instead of taking one candle, I just took the whole thing, because the reason I probably did that is because I wanted to, or maybe I went through the weekly. Yeah. So basically, I just took this one candle right here, and I took the tip of that at the top of there, and I took this whole candle and drew my rectangle around there. Because this is the resistance for the whole chart. So I probably felt like the weekly chart would be a better chart to find like the top resistance for this particular coin. And that's what I would do on any chart. So let's look at XRP, because this is definitely a chart that most people are, or a coin that most people are very interested in, right? So I can remove some of this, like these fibs and stuff. All right, so I do have the resistance up here. I didn't do it off of the weekly. I probably did it off of the 4 hour. Man, how narrow the resistance area looks. If I want to draw my bottom trend line, parallel channel, right? This is point A. This is point B. And then I'm going to go to where the next little bottom. So it could go a long ways if it wanted to, based off of that. Which means that it probably could come all the way down to 1.21. Doesn't mean that it would, but it probably could, right? Based off of this trend line. Because it made a big spike up, right? So, but would I wait for it to come here? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I say I do. Is it hit a support. I probably can clean up some of this. These come about because as I'm trading on smaller time frames, the support looks different on a smaller time frame. But now that we've come out of that era, we can use the support and resistance of the higher time frame, the 4 hour, the daily, right? So I probably can redraw these because it's pretty much past these supports. I'll keep this because this became a resistance. It was a support, but it became a resistance area. So let me see. And so that's what, during this time, like stuff like when times like this is when I just go through the charts and clean them up, redraw my lines, add my different alerts. So let's just use XRP for example. And just do this. Probably go to the hourly because I don't like that long candle. And I'm going to draw a support right here. All the way down to the bottom of this candle. And then I'm going to delete this. There's my new support. And then I'm going to put an alert right above the support. Boom. I'm going to get rid of and put lock on that support. Get rid of this parallel channel because we've bypassed it. Right? And I'm going to put an alert right above this last candle. Because I want to know, are we going to go above this candle or are we heading towards this support? And when we hit the support, I probably could even put it right below, an alert right below this candle right here as well, which I'll do. Because sometimes it'll bounce off of that lower candle and it'll just see, right? And then you just walk away. Now, I've already drawn like an example where I didn't use the parallel trend line. I used a regular trend line, and that's because I already have a parallel channel going on for this downward trend right here, right? And so I don't want to use another. Sometimes I do, but it depends on, is it going to make it complicated for me or not, right? And that's how I choose. I'm like, no, this is a little simpler way for me to see this. I can put an alert on this, so if it were to come back up and touch this, I'll know. I can put an alert on this channel that when it hits this line, it's going to alert me as well. I already got an alert above this last candle and above this support. That's all I need. And then when those alerts goes off, then I evaluate. Did I make a double bottom? Did I make a higher low? Or did I bypass the last low? Did I bypass this low? Did I bypass this low? If I bypass this low, it's not time to come in. It's still dropping. It's really that simple. What makes people, I don't know what, I know, I'll just look at for me. What made it hard for me at the beginning was I was trying to guess too much instead of following a strategy that I had back tested and seen that strategy works, period. For the most part, 90-something% of the time, that strategy works. So that's the strategy I'm going to go by, period, right? And then what other thing that that hung me up was things going up is, I'm going to use this as an example. So I'm going to create this channel right here. The price is going up. This is not the time to get in. Now, I could get in on hitting a support right here, but I know I'm taking a big risk. And I say, okay, well, I can take the risk all the way down here. And then I have to ask myself, okay, honey, if this thing comes back down to here, are you going to get out? I'd probably say yes. So then I would say, okay, my stop is right below here, below this support. Where it could spike down and come right back up, right? It can do that. That's why I prefer to get in. This is my rule now, is only get in. I try to get in when there's a downward trend and we're breaking the downward trend, because is way less risk of you broke that downward trend, had a double bottom or a higher low, of you is a better chance of you continue to go up higher. Now, it still can come back down, but you you have a little bit, way less risk and way less of a loss if you do lose. So like in that case, right, I see I have a downward trend on the 4 hour. Then I'm gonna go all the way probably to the 15 minute. I'm gonna go find that channel, right? I have a support right here from probably somewhere from over here. I would probably redraw that support to based off of this candle, these candles down here. And then I would put an alert above here. It is making its way up. And I probably have to go even further to the 5 minute to see what it's really doing. Right? So it basically, it went up, came back down, started making its way back up. Hit that support, which was coming from the previous. That's when I enter. And my risk is from this candle to below here, which would have been what? %5. I don't like that. So I probably would have made my risk a little bit lower, like to here, and just take my chances that if it were to go back down. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll let it come back down and see if it bypassed this. If it bypassed, then I just get out, right? I take a bigger loss. But wow, that's amazing that that little bit is worth 2%. Yeah, from here to here is 3 already. Yeah, so, but that's how you basically would do it. You would just look for where it's holding support. It's holding above the support level. You get in. Then I start drawing trend lines. I would have probably first started drawing from here to here. It came out. I drew the support. See if it's gonna go below there. It did, right? It came down. It basically liquidated these stops right here. But remember my stop was all the way down here. So we're still good. And then I would move my thing to here. Right? Ooh, I don't like that. I'm moving my stuff around. That's why I like to hit lock. I didn't lock. All right. So now I know, okay, we still in the game. But I'm still down here. And now I'm going to move my trend line to here because we still haven't went below this support. Still in the game. Now we still in. Move my trend line again. We still haven't hit this support, right? So we're still in. Now we've created another support. Probably need to redraw it. It's probably like this because of somewhere off to the right. And then if I go up, where am I at? Right here. This is where my fib would probably come into play. So I would draw a fib from this point right here to here. And see that we can never make it to 100%. So it didn't hit my support down here, so it hit the 50% level, which is acting as support. Came back up. It still couldn't make it to 100%. Still can move my here. Now it's starting to make lower lows. It couldn't make it to the 100% level, so that will be the time to come out. So I could take it that route and just go the long trade, or I could have just kept going in and out if I wanted to. Sometimes I do it that way, sometimes I don't. Depends on how much of a confusion it's going to make for me, or how less of a confusion it's going to make for me as to where I put my risk. So, but usually just stick to one thing, stick to one strategy that you feel works for you when you back test, and then use that strategy over and over and over. And then after a while, you've used it so much that you can kind of tweak it. Because as you keep trading, you learn that, oh, okay, I've seen this numerous times, so I can come out and I know that it's hitting that 50%. It's trying to get back down to the 50% line, and then I can come back in when it does this, right? And I can create another trade and get like a little bit of compound interest, right? That's how it builds to that. So, but that's it, right? And so when I say it's a gold mine, this is gold mine season. Gold mine is digging for gold. So that means you're going to basically, the price gotta go low. You don't make a lot of profit with the price going up. You make the profit because you bought low and the price is going up. So to me, when the price is going down, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. That means I'm able to, the market is allowing me to go dig. It's allowing me to dig at a lower price so I can have a greater profit. So to me, that's happy times. But if you're guessing and you're in fear mode, then it's not happy times. It's like, I don't know what to do, and I'm gonna leave this alone. I'm not gonna fool with this anymore, or whatever time. So, but that's pretty much it. I know it's probably end up being a little bit longer video than I would like, but this is a good time to kind of go over stuff like this when things are, you waiting for things to happen. So like if I look at XRP right now, I want to see, what is it going to do? Is it going to make a bounce and start making its way back up? Then I probably take a risk and get back in. That's what it is. Same thing for Bitcoin. Is it time to get in? I don't know. It made a double bounce right here. I still kind of want to see. I kind of want to see a little bit more confirmation. Is it going to make a bounce here? Or I probably want, you probably could take a risk based off of the double bounce right here. I just want to see just a little bit more confirmation. If it can come out of here, that'll be another good confirmation for me with Bitcoin. But if you just type person like, no, I'm gonna just go ahead and buy, and that's fine because it did show a double bounce on the 15 minute. So let's go a little bit higher because that's a little bit, even on the 4 hour, it has made a double bounce. So it might be an opportunity, and then just keep an eye on it, because your risk would be, if you got in right here, which is not bad, little under 2%, under 3% risk. If it were to try to go the other way, I probably would go ahead and go in because it made a double bounce, a double bottom. So, and if it were to go against me, then it's what, 3%. And that's pretty much it. And I would just keep an alert. I would keep an alert. I would keep an alert right below this candle right here, this gray candle right here, and an alert above this gray candle to see if we break it. And that's it. So I'm sorry, but that is it, guys. But let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to help. All right, bye.